Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Freshly Pressed. Today we have with us the team behind Barbarian Queen Charybdis. I made it. I'm so sorry. I have been trying to pronounce the name correctly, but I think I made it. Did I?
That was good. Yeah, no, Charybdis. Yeah, I'd say you stuck the
Okay, cool.
landing.
Welcome to the show, Shiro and Lee. Um, in your own words, can you give a brief background about yourself, starting with yourself, Shiro?
Well, I'm Canadian, specifically from the province of Quebec. I've been drawing since I could hold a pencil, and I haven't put it down since. Um, I've been working on comics my entire life. I'm the colorist for Auric of the Great White North. I'm a side artist for Aurora Man. I've made the covers for Lee, and then he was like, "Well, I can't just make you make covers. That's no, you got so much art in you." So he made me draw Barbarian Queen Charybdis, and I also do the fan comic Super Mario Adventures Continued with the writer Gabe Lerman. I'm busy.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm Lee Newman. I've been writing stories as long as I could probably make up stories. Um, I've done all kinds of different genres: children's book, fantasy books, horror. I have a lot of different inspirations, but I think this book, Barbarian Queen Charybdis, that I'm doing with Shiro, is probably right now one of the crown jewels that I have in the crown of my writing experiences.
That's awesome. It's definitely a very, very beautiful book, both in terms of writing and art. Um, and for the record, I've read the book, and I loved it. I loved a lot of things about it, and we'll get into that a bit later. But I'd love to start with what give us a brief background of how you actually got interested in art and comics, and in the first place. I know Lee's gone before, so we'll come back to him. But you go first, Shira.
I just do li- literally, it's my life. I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly when it started that I started to do art and be interested in comics because it was before I could form memories, I believe. I know for a fact I started drawing at 3 years old. 3 years and 2 days old. My mom saved my very first drawing. It's in her wallet as we speak. It's laminated.
Wow, that's so good.
And I've been reading comics once again since I was like really, really young. My house is littered with Archie comics. Archie has been a part of my life since forever. I've got books
That's
back
amazing.
here, some here, upstairs, in the bathroom, in the bedrooms. I got them everywhere. Pretty sure the house is lined with old Archie comics.
Wow, that's so good. I'll tell you something fun after the call. But yeah, that's amazing. Who's your favorite Archie writer?
Writer?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. If you ask me my favorite Archie artist, then yes, I can give you a name right away. But writer?
That's a valid question.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
go
not
for it.
sure.
I feel so valued.
In my defense, all my Archies are in French and they weren't very good at putting down the credits.
There.
In fact, the only reason I know the name of my favorite Archie artist is because he would pepper it in the background.
That's amazing. That's so good.
For the record, it's Sam Schwartz, the guy who developed
Okay,
the character of Jughead.
that's so
Vote
good.
for Sam, because he would always draw himself in the background. If you look at his old Jughead comics and you see a guy with slick black hair and glasses so thick you don't see his eyes, that's him. That's him drawing himself in the
Wow.
comic, and he was always on a either in real life in the comic or on a poster that says "Vote for Sam."
Hmm.
That's so good.
That's where I got my
Yeah.
love of putting Easter eggs in my comics whenever I can. It's from him. That's his fault. I blame him.
And now it's a Kickstarter reward. People pay money to get themselves into comics now.
Right? Yes,
It all
everybody can do
comes
that.
together.
It all comes together. Awesomely, you go. You tell us about how you got into comics in the first place.
Well, I can definitely remember. I've always loved like visual storytelling. I used to get in trouble in school for drawing comics and just doing my own little doodles and drawing my own little comic pages. I can remember in grade school, I had a teacher who would bring in like Amazing Spider-Man comics and just let the kids read them till they were dog-eared and stuff like that. Um, so I think I've always loved comics, and I've always loved things like 80s cartoons and stuff like that. And those things kind of go hand in hand. And having grown up in the 80s and 90s, there was just it was a revolutionary time for comics. I mean, there was the massive boom with all of the different cool gimmick covers. Well, I think cool. Some people think kind of not so cool, but I love all the hologram, embossed, scratch and sniff, fold out, insert, and all that stuff comes through in our the books that we do as well. Like when we did
Mm.
Sussum, Shiro did that awesome foil cover that the Akira
Mm.
homage. And then with this one,
Oh,
I used to love when you would get a Wizard magazine and you get like a pack-in card. So we're packing in a chromium card for everybody who buys a physical issue of Barbarian Queen Charybdis. Like, I love the extras, and I used to love how they would put extras in with comic books. And I know that's not as cost-effective as it used to be. So if we're in a position to do it, I want to do it and bring little of that nostalgia back for people.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's obviously it's gotten more expensive now, but uh, it's still quite a thing that a lot of campaigns from crowdfunding do, right? Like they kind of bring their own version of nostalgia to it, right? Some people bring merch, some people bring trading cards, foil covers. I've seen metal covers as well
Mhm.
in some campaigns. So it's good. It's bring your own nostalgia.
I think it's great. I love it. I think it's really cool that the people making comics now in modern times are doing like the 90s throwback gimmicks. And Marvel's like just starting to catch up and be like, oh, maybe we should do some of that stuff we did in the 90s because people are selling books that way on Kickstarter. So I think it's great to see
Yeah,
gimmicks I remember from the 90s on brand new books on Kickstarter now.
yeah. How long do you reckon Marvel is away from doing their own Kickstarter?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how they've managed to not go on Kickstarter yet. I mean, you've already got other books that definitely don't need it on there, but that's the place where it's become more of the place where everybody publishes now, even the big people. And I mean, I'm not going to say I don't back books on there from bigger, indie people like Image and things like that if they put books up there because they do. It is a cool way to get some unique things. So, and it gets shipped to your door. But
Yeah,
I do miss the days when Kickstarter was a little bit more of a Wild West and a little bit more indie friendly, and a little easier to get eyes on your stuff. Because now it seems like
yeah,
we are competing with people that could do stuff we just never could be able to do. But yeah, that's part of the game.
yeah. Part of the game. Yeah, I think like what was Skybound was the most recent one to get on Kickstarter. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they're owned by Image, so they had to come in
I
some
mean,
way.
it's an open platform.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
Skybound
I'm
is
not gonna
Image.
say anyone shouldn't be on it. It's just it's a lot harder to get noticed when God bless him, incredible human being. But when people like Keanu Reeves are like kickstarting their comic
I
book
know.
on Kickstarter, you know, I would pick
I
Keanu
know.
Reeves over me probably. So,
I know. I know
I
exactly
mean,
what you
if one
mean.
of the tiers of Keanu Reeves' Kickstarter would just be a recording of him saying, "Hey, I like that would be sold out." Like,
I think a clever way to do it is maybe they should build in get your own indie comic campaign, a shout out in
mm,
from Keanu, and I think a lot of indie creators would back that. and get a cameo of their own.
I would definitely. I would love for Keanu Reeves to shill our comic book. Help me make that happen.
Exactly. Awesome. So tell us a bit about the story and the book itself. Tell us a bit about Barbarian Queen
About
Charybdis.
Barbarian Queen Charybdis.
Yes.
Oh,
Hello.
Yes.
oh, he's back.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
hey. Okay.
Oh
All
yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
back. That was a dramatic pause. You were building tension. But so
True.
Mark of a
Barbarian Queen
professional.
Charybdis, it's kind of like a love story to all of the 80s action and adventure stuff. Things like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, the Conan movies, all of like the pulpy sword and sorcery stuff that would be coming out, like Beastmaster and all that kind of Deathstalker, which just had a really cool new comic come out that I backed. Um, it's like a love letter to all of that stuff, but we've kind of stripped out some of the things that didn't age so well. So it's all about like a strong female lead, and she's not necessarily like it's not all about like characters as sex symbols. It's about characters as characters and giving people depth and things like that. So when you meet Charybdis, like all of that, most of the story has happened. You're like in the aftermath. Like we're in the last chapters of her story. Um, what happens is essentially her group of people are destroyed. The warrior enclave that she's with, pretty much everyone's killed, left for dead, disappears, and she's the only one left. And in that chaos, her daughter Scylla is kidnapped by our villain, the Necromage. So the whole story kind of revolves around her going to try and save her daughter. And along the way, she's met her little scaly son, lizard best friend Slink. And so together there, and maybe with a few other faces you might meet along the way, they're going to go and try and save Scylla from the Necromage, even though it's been years since she's been kidnapped, and we don't even know if she's still alive. But that's what keeps Charybdis going, and what pushes her to get up every morning is to go and try and save her daughter.
That's amazing. It's also quite a departure from your previous works, which is like Sassoon, and like a lot of your previous works dabble a lot in comedy, and like a lot of. I know there's a bit of funny stuff here as
Oh
well
yeah,
in this book, and but it still gets really dark.
yeah.
You were saying something here.
Shira?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear too well. Can you repeat that?
Oh no, I thought you were trying to say something, so you go for it.
No, because when you said there's some funny stuff, and I was like, yes, Slink.
Yeah, you can't put Shira and I together and expect us to keep it completely like deadpan. Like we can't not do
There's
jokes. But
no way in hell.
yeah,
Originally,
there's not.
Charybdis, the story of Charybdis was supposed to be mute.
Yeah,
No dialogue, barely a little bit of exposition through captions, but it was originally supposed to be mute.
yeah,
Wow.
And then Lee was like, I would like to put some lizard men in there sometime, lizard creatures, dinosaurs, stuff like that, and I started to draw Slink. And then it all went downhill from there.
yeah. I do appreciate that Shiro decided it was okay that we put a little bit of, now a lot of dialogue in there. But yeah, originally when we were kind of like pitching it back and forth to each other, we thought of something like Primal, if you've ever seen that cartoon before on Cartoon Network.
Mm.
Something that didn't have any dialogue, but like it's just we're too quippy. Shira and I are too quippy to not have people talking to each other. So we figured we had is kind of like the wise guy. He's almost kind of like he's sort of like the audience in a way, because he kind of says some things that the people are thinking, and things that are kind of maybe a little anachronistic, or things that are outside of the serious fantasy. He kind of is the break from the dark stuff. And that's not to say
Yeah.
that Shiro doesn't, or that Charybdis doesn't have their own kind of one-liners and things like that too. But that one is like kind of a more straight deadpan thing.
I think that dichotomy does play off really well because obviously you don't want your comic to be like really dark and dreary.
Mm-hmm.
You need some levity to the proceedings. So I think that having that comic relief in Slink does give it that nice extra dimension to the book, right?
It
Yeah, I
really
do because
helps Shiro to
it's
point
a little
stuff
bit like
out.
a buddy cop,
It is like a buddy
and
cop. Exactly right.
because you got the semi-serious cop. I say semi-serious because Charybdis is not serious all the time either.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we can see on the screen right there, she's like grinning from ear to ear when she's kicking a snake man because there is a difference. Like she enjoys battle. She doesn't seek it,
Yeah.
but she doesn't do too much to discourage it either. She's like, I don't want to fight. We want to fight. All right, fine.
That's so awesome.
Whatever you say.
That is so awesome. So yeah, that's amazing. Tell us a bit about the rewards and the reward tiers and all the stuff that people can get from the campaign.
Sure. So we've got
That's you.
that's my move. So we've got some really cool covers. Our standard cover is this amazing VHS cover that Shiro did,
Love it.
and we even had we've designed a video store around it and got the stickers and everything. All of our team is actually named down in the credits, so we tried to like credit everybody and do a cool video store look for that one. The second cover is Mike Ruth. He's done covers for things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Gargoyles, stuff for IDW. He's done Swamp Thing. Just incredible, incredible cover there. Really gave it that strong Saturday morning cartoon feel.
That's awesome.
And then our last cover is we're doing like a version cover for this one, so the logo's not on it. This was hand painted by Orange Zeppelin, who is a good friend of the comic, good friend of ours on Instagram and on Twitter. And I just love like the organic look of it. So that's our third cover that we have available. And we do have a bundle for all three if you can't make up your mind as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I have been seeing some of these lately, like popping up in my feed, like a lot of people trying to paint their covers. And I think that's a very, very good departure from all the AI garbage people
Mhm.
keep shoving on the internet. So I think it's really good that this thing is catching on, that real art is actually now coming up again.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, there's so few artists too that I mean, like I'm lucky to be able to work with Shiro, who's good in both digital and physical mediums. But I mean, some artists don't even work in physical that much anymore because a lot of people are just doing digital, which I understand. Less mess, I assume, and well, not I assume, less mess and less to keep track of. But I was kind of taken aback when I went to a friend recently to do some art for our sketch cards, and they said, "Oh, I don't really draw manually anymore." And I thought, "Oh, okay." So yeah, it's nice to see people still doing traditional artwork as well.
I'm sorry, I just can't imagine myself trying to stick to only one. Like, you either go digital or traditional. Well, sorry, I'm picking both. I'm bi-artistic.
Pan artistic. uh,
That
yeah.
too, I sculpt a little bit too.
What's your process like, Shiro? Like how did you and Lee work together on this comic?
He found me. Seriously, that's
By
it.
the way, before you get into it, I feel like that Akira cover of Sison is probably the best thing I've seen in last couple of years for any indie comic. To be
Oh,
honest,
that's
like
really cool.
it is so good,
Oh,
so good.
man, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Every time I sell one, which I think we're sold out now, but there's an Akira homage cover group on Facebook, And I still get requests every once in a while for people that want that Akira cover. If they're always like, "Hey, I missed a Kickstarter, and that was last year," and I still get inbox messages once in a while of people wanting that cover just because it looks so cool. I mean, like the foil on it, like photos don't do it justice. It looks so rad, and Shio just nailed
Yeah,
the look. So
it is so good. Yeah,
The natural
amazing.
reaction to my art.
Awesome. So yeah, yeah. How did you go about designing the character? Like what were some of the cue points that Lee gave you for the characters here?
Well, that's my turn. I put a lot of thought in the character. Her look, her face mainly is based on my wife Grace Jones. God bless the Queen. And then I started like I worked so hard. I have never researched a character as much as I have researched Charybdis. I looked up hairstyles, make sure her hairstyle was semi-realistic. I didn't want her too realistic because she's still the main character. She's got main character syndrome. She's got to look extra. I looked up
Yeah,
if her facial features, like her eyes and stuff like that, were realistic. I looked up so many leather armor sets. I looked up the colors that they would usually. I researched everything, even the stuff that is not realistic, like her gigantic sword. In real life, no way
yeah.
in hell she can get that out of the scabbard. In this universe, oh, she has a way. We will cover that eventually.
Okay,
But she can wield her
okay.
sword. And Slink is just a little guy. As hard as I worked on Charybdis, as little I worked on Slink. I just thought, well, this lizard piece is cool, I'm gonna put it there. And this lizard piece is cool, I have no idea what Slink is. He's a reptile.
Yep, yep.
He's
he's a
several
confirmed.
reptiles.
He's a lizard person, confirmed.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Like he's got chameleon eyes, but we know he's not a chameleon. The tip of his tongue is forked, but he can do the tongue thing.
Yeah.
That's
He's
amazing. There's
ridiculously
this.
skinny for no reason.
Yeah, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong being like having an ambiguous character that people wonder about, like, what is this then?
Well, yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
it's not Earth, it's our own creation, so it's our own place. It's our Maelstrom is the name of our Eternia, if you will, is called Maelstrom. So, I mean, that's the thing is there are things that are like Earth, but not exactly like Earth. It's a very kind of Conan-ish, Henson creature workshop kind of way to look at the world is kind of how we present things. Um,
Hmm.
so that's kind of the angle that we're taking. And again, like this very 80s Saturday morning cartoon kind of deal, like, what is a snarf? Nobody knows. I mean, they made that up. So now we have a slink.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's anyway, like, I think world building is such an important part of fantasy. You obviously, uh, if you if you end up building something that's so rich, you can keep exploring different kinds of stories in it, different landscapes and things like that. So yeah, great work. And I feel like the first part of the story left me wanting for more. So I feel like both of you have done a fantastic job. And like you said, the stripped down dialogue, the silent panels were probably my most favorite ones. They were like the best. I just loved them. So good.
But the battles.
The
I have
battles.
so much fun drawing battles, and I don't often get to do that because usually I'm asked to draw like super cute things. I don't get me wrong,
Oh,
I like drawing super cute things. Super Mario Adventures Continued is really cute, and
yeah.
my main webcomic, I draw in the style of like Bean Peoples, also super cute, but sometimes let me draw some death. Let me draw some blood. I need some mayhem.
Yep. you obviously need some variety in your work as well, right? Like just to explore different styles, and also different things, um, stuff that you don't actually get to. Maybe if you get to do a lot of death and mayhem in your other work, you may be craving about like building something, right, drawing something quaint, and then that's how your webcomic came about. you know that
Ah,
usually oh, Lee's back.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
I'd assume you were just singing my praises while I was gone.
Totally,
oh yeah,
totally.
sure, absolutely.
Lee is a good person for sure. He's
I agree.
definitely.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. Just a person doing my best.
No, that's awesome. Tell us a bit about the Pride variants as well, because obviously it's Pride Month. Happy Pride
Yeah.
Month, everyone!
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
so what we're doing is we're doing. I did kind of like a soft attempt at this when we did the sewn covers. We did.
Oh, now Lee froze.
yeah.
Lee, boing 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 boing. Oh,
You there, my friend?
keep getting. He got kicked out again
I
because I
think
have him
so.
in Messenger on another window, and what the heck?
Yeah, he's stuck for me as well. Oh, he's back.
Oh, now we got two of them.
All
I'm
right,
not
guys. I'm
complaining.
so sorry.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why I keep why I keep dropping. So we did the Sassone cheesecake for charity last February, and a portion of that went to Trevor Project. And then for actual Pride Month, we wanted to do one for Charybdis as well because the book is heavily about the family you choose and things like that. Like obviously Slink and Kay, you might not have been able to tell, but they're not blood related, but they're a family just like any other family.
It's very
So
subtle. Yeah,
yeah,
you have to look in between the lines.
but so we have this we put this bundle together and you can get the books individually, but if you get the bundle you also get the free Kid Charybdis sticker that Shiro did, which is
Nice.
fantastic. And
It looks fantastic.
also we give a larger contribution to the Trevor Project as well. um, so it basically is the best of all worlds. You get your covers, you get everything cheaper, you get the extra sticker, and also the net is a larger donation to Trevor Project as well if you get the bundle. Um, and we do appreciate Crowdfunder is one of the few websites that'll let you run charity things like this, so that's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
very, very cool.
and also, if anyone buys one of the other bundles, the Pride collection is available. All of the Pride books are no additional shipping. So, like if you were to get, say, an extra copy of Charybdis or get the bundle and want another comic on top of that, those come with a slight increase in shipping, but all of the charity.
Well, it's not a stream with me in it without serious bugs and problems. Hello again.
You were gonna you're gonna have such a hard time editing this. Um, all of the charity books are free shipping.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. And I think like charity campaigns are not like they're not very commonplace. So I do love a good cause and a good uh,
mhm.
campaign covering that. So yeah, kudos to you both. This is amazing. So, yeah, the segue into the next segment, I would love to put you both on the spot and ask you my favorite question. What's your top five pop culture things that you like that influence your work, or you just love them, you just keep going back to them.
Shiro, do you want to go first, or should I go first in case I drop again?
Maybe you should go first.
Okay,
Let it
I'll
out,
keep
Lee.
it.
Let it out.
Keep it. Oh, I don't know why we keep dropping.
One.
So if I had to name one thing, one of my biggest, I'm gonna cheat and do two. Jurassic Park and Ghostbusters, because those are tied for like my two biggest things that have influenced me as far as like my movies and different things that have gotten me motivated and just stuff from my childhood that I hold dear. So the second thing, probably just 80s media in general, cartoons, films, which I know Ghostbusters falls into that. Movies, music, like it's just it comes through in Charybdis. We really tried to push that kind of 80s, early 90s feel, and that's something that's really influenced me a lot as far as just my tastes and things like that. Um, Horror movies. So that's just a blanket statement. I just love horror movies in general. Good movies, bad movies, just any kind of horror movie, I'll take it. Um, I think another big influence in me and for me would be the like the old horror comics like EC and Warren, like eerie, creepy, all those kinds of things, all those black and white, like the suspense comics and things like that. And again, you can see a lot of that come through in the artwork here. I love like all the gritty tones and stuff that Shiro's used to do the book. And was that five? Was that four? Do I get an extra one? I don't.
Go for
I'm
an
keeping.
extra one.
I get one more.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
go for it.
you know what? Right now, one of the biggest things that's influencing me is Tony Fleek's Uncanny Valley is super super good.
Mm,
That and Tim Seeley's Local Man. So I would say those are the
nice.
two modern comics that are like really kind of fueling my desire to continue to make comics.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Awesome. Shiro, your turn.
But we're gonna save some time. All of the above. That's why me
No,
and
no,
Lee get
no.
along really well. I also love 80s stuff. I grew up in the 80s. I was there. I love horror. I don't watch a lot of movies, so even less horror movies because I'm a big pussy. But I adore horror comics. Mm.
Hmm.
I've got that. I've got Corbin. I got some Corbins. I got some old Tales from the Crypts. I've got a whole collection of creepies and eerie's, and it's not just that I like the stories, the art in these old horror comics. Like, I want to learn to ink like that. Which is why I also like manga because they're also in black and white and they do a really nice job of inking. I've got some Dragon Quest, Dragon Balls, Sailor Moon, Captain Harlock. Big fan of Captain Harlock. Anime I
Nice.
used to watch as a kid.
That's awesome.
Uh, I have notes. Video games, mainly RPGs, as you can tell from Barbarian Queen Charybdis. It's also the only games I'm actually good at. Anyway. And Weird Al Yankovic.
Nice.
That's a
Nice.
good bow. That's a good bow on everything. That's perfect.
Horror, blood, violence. Weird Al.
The thing about Weird Al is he fits perfectly everywhere, just about
Just like my
everywhere.
art style. I adapt it to everybody. I can draw in pretty much any style.
Nice. That's amazing. That's a beautiful list, by the way, both of you. Yeah, that's amazing. Um, awesome. But yeah, we're coming close to time. But before we go, I would like both of you to make your own sort of, pitches for the book and the campaign, and why should people back it?
Sure. Okay. Well, I think this is a book for anyone who grew up in or enjoyed the 80s. If you like things like Conan, if you like things like The Goonies, if you like any kind of sword and sorcery stuff, if you like Saturday morning cartoons and watching them and eating a giant bowl of cereal, if you like things that are maybe a little mysterious, we've got some things to unravel and unfold in this book. Maybe not everything is exactly how it seems. If you're someone who just enjoys reading just a solid story with action and adventure and fun, we've got all that. If you like stories about love, there's love. If you like stories about family, This story's got stuff about family. It's got serious stuff. It's got people getting hacked to pieces if you like that. If you don't, maybe still check it out because it's kind of funny sometimes. And I think it's just got a little bit of something for everybody. So that's my
That's
elevator
amazing.
pitch.
What about you, Shiro? What's your elevator pitch for Charybdis?
What can I add to that? Lee's the word guy. I'm the art guy. Back our comics or else I'll cry.
That's a pretty good, pretty good pitch right there. And there's also plenty of beautiful variant covers to choose from. I've read the book. It's rock solid. It's great fantasy. It has fun moments. It has tons of action, a lot of comedy, good moments of heartfelt moments, and a surprise ending. The last two pages are something that you would never expect this book to be. So yeah, uh, back this book. Why hasn't it reached this goal yet? Let's do it.
I would like to say rewards are guaranteed. This is kind of like our victory lap campaign. So we've successfully funded on Kickstarter. This is basically to give folks one more chance to grab a copy and also to put our Pride covers out there just as one full campaign. It's almost I've been referring to it kind of like as a pre-order campaign because we can continue once we've got 10 days left for that to hit that $200 goal. But I believe that we can continue it a little bit longer because we just want everyone that wants the book to have the book. So as
That's
we've
true.
started sending out advanced copies, like we're trying to get booked on some different podcasts, and folks like you were saying, "Hey, this is really good." We want to give people some time once they hear that to make it to go get them a copy. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, so we definitely we'd love to get funded, and we do have some additional stretch goals that we added just for this campaign. But even if we don't hit that $200 mark, everyone who backs this book, everyone who backs this campaign is getting their books, and that includes the Pride covers and everything. So everything will still be available, and we did mention that on the campaign as well. So this is kind of like a just for fun pre-order last chance campaign for folks that want to get on the boat before we run that first set of first printings, so they can get the first edition copy.
And what countries is the book shipping to?
This one, so this is going to the U.S. and for the first time, Canada. So if you are Canadian and you missed out on the Kickstarter, you get all of the unlocked stretch goals from the Kickstarter. So you get the print that Shiro is going to sign. You get the song, the MP3 of the song that Steven wrote for the book. You get all of those digital comics. I mean, and just the digital comics alone that you get are worth the lowest tier because you get so many different indie titles, including ours, including Sasone, which you've mentioned. It's the just bottom like single digits to get all of those indie comics is just a steal in my opinion. So
Yeah,
I definitely think we're trying to really increase the value for folks as well. And we tried to keep even the first issue because indie comics can get kind of expensive. We did have the luxury since ours is in black and white to try and
yeah.
keep the cover price of the standard edition as low as we could, just to make sure people could actually get a copy. And everyone who gets a physical copy gets one of the Chrome trading cards. Yeah, there's our awesome indie lit bundle. You get all of this stuff. The first two are actually two full novels, and the rest are all comic books donated by a lot of Indie's best and brightest, a lot of good friends of mine, a lot of books that I've read myself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have read a lot of these books as well, and I can definitely vouch for the bundle that it's incredible. So,
Banger after
sorry.
it's banger after banger.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I totally agree on that. And yeah, and coming soon to Australia as well, right, Lee?
Yes, it's in Australia.
Yeah, coming soon to Australia. Awesome. Thanks for your time, both of you. Really appreciate it, and
Thanks for having us.
all the best for the rest of the campaign. Hope we raise some good funds for a great cause as well for the Trevor project. Do you want to give a quick uh, you know uh, intro on like what's Trevor project about, and why you're raising funds for that?
Well, it's for it's LGBTQ youth. and so that's always been something that has been important to me. And just the LGBTQ I plus community in general. We both got friends in it. Um, Shiro's a member of it, and I just felt like we have a platform here that I think is going to be a very popular book. So I wanted to use that to celebrate all the things that are important to us and our values through the cover that's Shiro's done, which is beautiful, and put that money towards uh, a good cause during Pride Month here.
That's awesome. Let's get behind that, if not for anything else, right? So yeah, I would say this book won't disappoint you in any shape or form. It's the easiest thing to read, pick up and read, and it'll just make your day. So back this campaign, everyone, and thank you for coming on the show, both of you. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.